Welcome to the College Rugby Show, the CRC wrap-up edition. And I don't think you can legally have rugby and wrap-up in the same sentence without having Matt McCarthy here. So we're joined for the first time ever on the College Rugby Show by the Matt McCarthy of Rugby Wrap-Up. Matt, welcome.
Well, thank you, Pat, but that's not going to keep my attorneys from kicking down your door.
Oh,
so
I thought for sure.
There's that. No, this is an honor. This is a thrill, and actually this is tremendous what you've pulled off here. This is what I've been thinking about for years in rugby, and here it is come to fruition. Congratulations.
The CRC making dreams come true, even Matt McCarthy's. Matt, you were PA announcer this week. You
Yes.
were in the booth. No one had their eyes glued to the pitch more than you.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of highlights. I mean, some real standouts. What were your highlights of the weekend?
It was amazing. And aside from the quality of the rugby, which goes up every single year, because I've been since Philly in the initial CRC sevens, the crowd, it was electric. Everybody was having fun. They were loud. They were applauding, and it was full. It was a full house, right? I mean, how cool is that?
Right.
And I felt like after years of toil in this business, okay, this is happening. It's becoming an event in America that people are going to want to go to. So that's very cool. And again, congratulations.
Well, thank you, and thanks for being a part of it. You've been here for many years, before and after the big changes. And Mr. Steve Lewis, one board member of National Collegiate Rugby. You're a little involved as well. What are your, I know your favorite part is the 4-hour car ride home with the guy to your right, but some pretty good stuff this weekend too.
Fantastic. The biggest thing for me was seeing Thomas Clark properly dressed for once, so that was a highlight. The rugby, as Matt correctly said, is getting better year in, year out. I mean, there's probably 6 to 8 now top teams on the men's side, and maybe 4 or 5-ish in the women. But the quality of those teams, there's more of them now, and they're getting better. So as much as it's a festival of rugby catering to various divisions and size of schools and size of universities, the quality is definitely on the uptick.
Darian, this was your first time physically being at the CRC 2.0. What were your first impressions?
2.0, we turned it up a notch. Like you were saying about building an event, this is showcasing an experience of rugby. And I think one of the reasons why we stay around in it, one of the reasons why we do it is because of the experience that comes along with it, the friendships that you make, the memories that you make. And with these events, I mean, these are things that you're going to hold on to forever. I know that the moments that I've been at the CRCs are so deeply ingrained in my brain, and we're trying to build an experience for not just the players, but also for people out there, come out, enjoy the CRCs. We have food trucks. We've got these beautiful soccerplex stadium. We've just got a lot going on here. So I don't know. I think that the experience is really what NCR has done a good job of doing. And
Matt's appearance today, sponsored by Travelin' Tom's Coffee Truck, which is about 4 feet offset. Matt, give us a little quick coffee review. How do you like it?
Well, it's actually black tea. I changed it up.
I was fixing to say, I've
the
never
best
seen
coffee is
like
tea,
that.
I think.
But if I can be disingenuous and lie, but it's the best tea I've had today.
What?
Fantastic.
Very
Well, guys,
good.
we have lots of great action. Lots of memories were made this weekend, and we have tons of it to show you. We're going to bring you the national champions. We're going to bring you the coaches. We're going to bring you all the storylines, all CRC, all show, right after we come back. I am joined here live on the College Rugby Show set by the newly minted back-to-back Premier Cup champion Wheeling University Cardinals. We got the winning head coach Mike Geibel to my left, MVP Shadrach Mendez, a 2-time MVP to his left. What an incredible final. Mike, congratulations, back-to-back. It's been all season. Does this feel like a relief, a reward? What is it?
It feels like a relief. This is something we've been grinding. I've been saying it all year. It's hard to come in and defend a championship. It's hard to have that pressure and have everybody, people picking us in their brackets. It's a little bit more pressure, but the guys have handled it beautifully, and we're lucky enough to come away with another victory.
You guys didn't have an easy road whatsoever. You had a couple of tough first-round matchups, and then we saw that offensive firepower finally unleashed in the semifinal. Shadrach, I mean, did you feel like you were playing up to your potential in those first couple games, or did you just have to get your stride? What was the difference between those early rounds and that offensive explosion we saw in the last 2 games?
No, man. It's my birthday today, man. So I was really excited, and I had to push. And I wanted to be a 2-time MVP, and I did it. And I'm so excited.
What a birthday present to go home with, Steve.
Absolutely. Mike, back to you. From a coaching perspective, I picked Bonnies, and I picked them because I thought they had a great defense and they could smother you. And I thought they defended well. They just didn't get their hands on the ball. When you went into the game as a coach, what was your strategy? What did you think were your strengths and weaknesses vis-a-vis them?
I think we know that we can score from anywhere. We have a lot of guys who can finish, a lot of guys who can make somebody miss first up tackles. And I think, we talked about keeping the possession, keeping the ball, and working through our process, working through our system. And we knew that if we could just, maintain possession and work through our system the way that we know how, eventually the gaps will open up.
One thing that stood out to me, and I've seen it time after time in the CRC tunnel, right? The team that's the calmest, that's having the most fun, that's least worried about the negative potential outcome that's about to come, is the one that goes out and performs the best. You guys are sitting there going out to play for a second straight national championship, second straight MVP title for you on your birthday, and you're singing. I mean, tell me about that. Your culture has been on display all season, and I think here today. And what is that difference, right? What had you guys singing right before you run out?
No, it's just getting the nerves off, just motivating each other to go in there and just be calm and play our game. That's all about it.
You got a bunch of studs behind you back here, a bunch of brothers who are really good.
Yeah, I really love those boys. I really do.
All right, sevens you. Sevens is your sport, Mike. I'm not saying you're not good at 15s. You're quite there. This may be making you a little hungrier in the fall, but what is it about your team, your program, that has you so fantastic at this sevens version?
I think we just have guys that come out and work. A lot of the guys, Shadrick, for one, is incredible at sevens. He's been playing a long time, but a lot of the guys that we have, they come in ready to work. They haven't played sevens before. A lot of the guys from South Africa, from the UK that, haven't experienced that really, other than a few little training, sevens matches here and there. But, they really came in and they listened to what the process was, and they listened to what we asked them to do, and they go out and execute every single time we ask.
Well, look, you guys were fantastic. It's hard to have the target on your back 2 straight years, every single tournament you walk out, and get there unscathed. So congratulations, gents. Wonderful time. Enjoy your championship. Back-to-back. Congratulations, Wheeling. Really great stuff.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. We are here, and I am joined by the national champion, Eau Claire Blue Golds. Just won the men's Division III national championship right here at the Collegiate Rugby Championship. Cal Schmitz, MVP. Congratulations.
Thanks, Pat.
Tell me about it. It's been a long season. You guys 30-2. That's a lot of sevens matches.
30-2 is right, Pat. Yeah. Only one loss in the Division 3, and that is to Slippery Rock, who was a great team. Glad that we were able to come out on top today.
But who's counting, Matt? Who's counting?
We're always counting.
Well, you finally have one to count compared to those that women's team there on campus who's been stacking them up. We're getting caught up here. I mean, this is the first program win, if I'm not mistaken, here for Eau Claire men, correct? The first national championship?
It's our first one.
As your alma mater, that's got to feel extra special.
It feels fantastic. I played for them 20 years ago, and to be able to come back and bring this to the club, I can't tell you the pride that I have with these guys.
Well, look, I'm assuming that you're also not just the coach and alumnus, that this Creasy might be related to you?
That's actually my parents, Jane and Chuck Creasy. They've been sponsoring the club for about a decade now. They sponsored it when I played, and then my law firm, of course, has to sponsor us as well.
What a family affair, this Blue Gold's title. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, so anyway, to what do you attribute your success, and not just the NCR Webinar 7 series with various invited guests?
That was definitely part of it, but the success comes from trusting our staff, essentially. It's trusting the assistant coaches, it's trusting our captain, it's trusting the student leadership. It's we work together. It's collaborative here when we're coming up with drills, when we're coming up with what the game plan's going to be. It really is just the hard work these guys put in that brings the success we have.
Matt, how long have you been the head coach at Eau Claire?
8 years now.
8 years is a long time.
Yes, it is.
I think a lot of people think that you get a coach and then change happens instantly. Culture gets built instantly. Behaviors get built instantly. And so if you're been there 6 years and you haven't won, it's pretty easy to get couched as a coach that can't win. But it takes time to build stuff, right? I remember talking to Dave LaFlemme, who's won a couple national championships at Brown. Didn't do it till his 27th year in the job. This has been, tell us about the process to get here.
So really our mantra from last year when we got that large bid was you come the first year, you get the lay of the land, and then you come back and win the thing the next year. You see what everyone's going to be like. And that's why this year we made sure we did multiple qualifiers. We made sure that we were stacking ourselves up against teams who are of a quality as us or a higher quality, because that's what we knew we had to beat in order to get here today. But I've never thought of it as a coach who couldn't win, so you put that in my head, I guess.
No. Well, it's gone. It should go out the other ear because we got some hardware to take home.
Right. That's right.
Go ahead.
I would say what I can tell you is 8 years ago we had a program, some guys that worked really hard, but it was hard to get 7 guys to a practice. And you change that culture piece by piece, and now you have guys, we have 40 guys, I think, on the team, 30 guys at a practice almost every single time. For 15s, we have 2 sides. For 7s, we have an A, B, and a C. And when you have that sort of team that wants to come together and be around each other, you build that culture first, the hard work next, and then things like this, the championship, that is going to follow.
Speaking of time together, lots of miles on the road this season, Cal. I saw you first in Georgia back in, what was that, March? You guys were crisscrossing the country. Lots of time, I imagine, on the smelling each other's smells in cars and hotel rooms. Do you think that adds up and helps build the teamship as you get here?
This whole spring semester, most weekends we would leave on Thursday morning to head to a qualifier or a big tournament somewhere, and we wouldn't be coming back till Sunday afternoon. And I think all those times with the guys, the forced 12-hour car rides with each other just really makes a community, makes a brotherhood, and it's hard not to love the guy when you've smelled every smell that he can possibly make. So.
That's absolutely it.
I believe shared collective experience might be a better way of putting it.
Well, I think
Sounds
Roz
good.
Chou going for her 5th title. I don't know that we said that this weekend. She said it was a collective effervescence.
There you go. But one final point. So when you play 15s as a coach, right, one coach goes home happy, the other doesn't. In 7s, depending on division, one coach goes home happy, 7 don't, or 15 don't, right, or 31 don't. You're the happy coach this weekend.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Well done. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
I saw you guys shut down Willie B's after the Peach Cup. Look out, boys, Maryland. It's going to get crazy tonight. Eau Claire, Eau Claire, go Claire, going out on the town as national champions. Cal Schmitz, Matt Creasy, guys, thanks for joining us and congrats.
Thank you very much.
guys.
Welcome back to the College Rugby Show. This time we're joined by Tom Clark, the High Performance Director for National Collegiate Rugby. TC, you have been a busy man, my friend. Your passport is filling up. You're going to need some more pages.
Yeah.
As touring is internationally is one of the pillars of rugby experiences, right?
Correct.
And that's something that you've gotten re-going here the last few years, is rebuilding these collegiate select sides, all-American sides, and taking them overseas, giving them a high-performance experience, great coaching, and that's something you've got going the last couple of years. You guys went to France in 2023. You went back last year for the 100th anniversary of the last time we won the Olympics in 1924 to celebrate that. You took so many incredible college kids and gave them such an incredible college experience, and then you've got some stuff lined up for this summer as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we're really excited. I think primarily for me, we're getting our women's program kicked off. Jamie Freck, Michigan coach, is helping us to get that, coordinated.
Two-time national champion
Yes,
head coach.
and so Jamie is. We're going to Algarve Sevens in Portugal. We're taking a men's and women's team there for a sevens tournament.
Playing a little sevens on the beach in Portugal. That sounds fantastic.
Yep, yeah, Mr. Dallin Stanford helped us set that up, so we were really excited about that. And then we are also going to the UK with our women's program. The women's All-Americans will be in the UK for the Women's World Cup. They're going to play 2 matches, and they're going to go to 2 matches. They're going to watch the women play England and Australia.
How incredible is that? Getting to go watch the Women's World Cup and play and be on an All-American tour. That sounds pretty awesome. Mr. Lewis, you've been on a tour or 2. Tell us about the value of this rich tradition.
Yes, I was just going to ask TC, do you have a real job?
I do, sir. Yes, I do.
And a wife and a family?
Well, for the time being, I have a job, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the rugby. It is one of the crowning successes of this organization, NCR, and what it's been able to deliver in terms of opportunity for athletes. And it's competitions like this where you're testing yourself against the best in the nation, and now going abroad, testing yourself against the best in other nations, other countries. So life-changing experiences for some of these kids. They rock up at a tournament like this. They get picked by TC for one of these tours. Then they make friends from A, B, C, and it's life-changing. Spectacular stuff.
A couple thousand candidates for these tours out here this weekend. What was the process? See anybody you like?
Yeah, absolutely. So Ed Turberde, the head coach for the men, was here. He was actually in person doing some scouting for the men's side. Obviously there was a couple of wheeling players that we're very interested in. Shadrach and
Mendoza,
Mendoza, and a couple of the St. Bonnies. We actually invited Harry Healy from St. Bonaventure on the tour for the sevens. The thing to me that's actually not even just the recruiting of the players, but as Steve said, seeing seeing the players that have been on tour together, playing for different teams here, hanging out, enjoying the experience. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and in addition, it's opportunities not just for players, but also for coaches. And to see some of these coaches now that used to, glare at each other across the touchlines, and now their buddies having a beer, after the tournament. But those relationships that have been built are great to see. Not just players, also coaches.
Yeah, and there is a coach development aspect to this. With the men's tour, we brought Jamie Freck with us as a preparation to get her to launch the women's program, and we're planning to bring in younger coaches and get them involved and do some rotations so that coaches are also getting meaningful opportunities to coach.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, talk about the selection vehicles for this, right? Obviously, making it to nationals is one. All-Stars, how much does that help when you're combing the country and bringing all these players, whether they're Division III, reaching down in the grassroots? What are the selection vehicles? How if a kid's like, I want to go to Portugal, how do they get on the team?
Yeah, so that's the great part about it. So we are literally treating the January event as our kind of kickoff for our calendar year. So what we did is we met last year, we put our calendar together, we kind of marked January as our starting point, and all of those coaches that are helping with those regional teams are basically our recruiting staff, and they're the ones that are out there watching the players. We have a nomination form. Anybody who's interested who's watching this, if you think you have a player that we should be looking at, we have a massive database we're building, and coaches can nominate players. So we're really starting to formalize that process too, because the more people I can get eyes on players, the better. I can't go everywhere, and so it's really helpful.
It's all about the experiences, right? That's what we're here for. That's what this tournament's about. That's what we try to build for players. And thank you for building an incredible international experience for our players here at NCR.
I appreciate that.
Just one final point. Yeah. No, but it's terrific. TC in particular, along with multiple other NCR staff that put this stuff on, do the real work. Pat and I just take the credit and sit in front of a camera, but these guys do the work, and these guys should be recognized and appreciated.
All right, that's it. Thanks for joining us, TC.
Yeah, all good. Thank you.
High Performance Director. Have fun this summer.
Yeah, thank you.
Pat Clifton here, joined by the national champion Brown Bears. I've got the MVP, Akila Cathy, to my left. Five-time now CRC champion head coach Roz Chou over there to the left. Akila.
Okay.
You got to tell me, all right, coming off the bench this weekend, how hard is it those first 7 minutes sitting over there? What are you thinking about? And when you get out there, you look like you're just a dog cut off a leash and you're ready to go.
Well, yes, like Coach Chou always says, we always have superpowers. So every time I get in the game, I just know that I need to do what I am known for doing, which is like run my really hard lines. But as I'm sitting on the bench, I'm really just thinking about my teammates and like how I'm just so excited for them to show the world what I've been saying every day at practice. Like I love supporting my teammates and watching them just go out.
3 in a row. You tired of it yet?
No, we can never get tired.
There we go. Give
us 5 more.
That's like a team. It sounds like a team rule. Never getting tired.
Oh my God. Yes. If you're tired, I'm tired.
Oh, okay. That sounds right. Well, yeah. Ross, I mean, obviously it's a special one, I would imagine, but 3 in a row, do they start to blur together?
No, everyone is different, just like a parent says about their children, right?
Yeah, sure.
So
we were the feral ones, by the way, and then you guys are the smarties,
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, I mean, look, let's talk about it. 5, we talked about it a lot up here on this desk because I think when records are broken, it's pretty phenomenal, and that's something you have to pay attention to. Did you guys think about it? Did you guys know that if you guys got one, that your coach was going to stand alone as the most decorated sevens coach in college rugby history for women?
Of course. I think last year it was eye-opening. It was just because she's so humble. I think we should celebrate Coach Chou more because she does a lot. And, like, as you can see, regardless if she's at Life at Brown, like, she brings the same thing. Like, she's so smart and she's able to really work with different players. But, like, yeah, we knew it was coming. And I'm just excited that we was able to win it for her. Like, we play as a team. And, like, obviously she's a part of our team, a big part of our team. So, yeah, congratulations. She deserves it. She really deserves it.
Darian, is the Life family, were they rooting for Brown today? Are they celebrating too?
I was in there causing a scene. Every single person, I was like, you have Browner Army, you have Browner Army. And I sat up here and I think right now we're at a point in American rugby where we're all making history, right? We're all rooting for women's rugby, namely, to grow. And now, like, with you being here in this moment, I mean, when you started it, right, I don't want to age you. I won't say it in front of everybody.
That was a long time ago.
But when you started it, I mean, was your expectation to take it and kind of go this far with it?
I had no idea. I just fell in love with the game like you do when you, back in the day, because you only learned it in college. And you paid for everything, and you taped your own ankle, or you taped your friend's ankle and said good luck. And to see where it is now with an event like this, and then to start at Life, and then start to see the seeds of what was this growth for women's rugby was amazing, and for you to be part of that. I could never have imagined it to be like this, and I never imagined that I would be in this position. I just was like, oh, maybe I'll try coaching. Okay, you want to give me this job at this little school? Okay, and so to see it now is just, it's just, I don't have words, and I usually have something to say.
She always has something to say, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Always something smart to say too. And you talked a little bit about like establishing your roles and stuff, and kind of finding that. As far as like how you support the team and how you captain, has it kind of changed throughout the years, or do you kind of still have the same mentality going into these competitions?
Yes, well, I think my earlier years, I was always the same person, because again, like, I am just a big team person. I love to see my teammates win. I just think as I stepped into the captain role, I just had to be more vocal, and sometimes just be the voice that, like, not always be the voice that's silent, and like just say something, because there's a lot of teammates who look up to me and want to hear what I have to say. But yeah, that's kind of how I've just transitioned over the years, just becoming more vocal.
Yeah, she likes to pick captains that talk a lot. That's kind of her thing.
Oh,
big kidding.
I got one more for you, Roz.
Okay.
This incredible moment that we're having for women's rugby, which is really driving the game of rugby forward for everybody, came through sevens, right? Like without the Olympics, this doesn't happen. And we're seeing some reduction maybe in the Sevens World Series, and opportunities might starting to get shaved. And that just seems like a real shame. It just sevens, the women's opportunity, it's gone into 15s, right? I'm going to go back to Kansas City. There's going to be a full stadium for USA Canada women. They're going to quintuple the record for attendance for a women's 15s match. Yeah. And that's all because of sevens.
Yeah. I mean, it is an introduction to the game. It's the gateway drug into rugby. And, if we get eyeballs, no matter if it's fives, there's no fives, but if there were, that'd be a terrible game. But sevens really brings that excitement, new eyes to be like, wow, look what these women can do. Yeah. So,
really
love
fun.
it. Yeah.
These women could do awesome things. We watched it all weekend. Our national champions, the Brown Bears. Congratulations, guys, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
We're here live at the College Rugby Show with our national champions in Division III, the Endicott Goals. We got Tess Merrill over here, the reigning MVP, the new MVP, and we got Carly Baker over here, the head coach. What a weekend for you guys, Tess. That's 4 national championships, 4-time All-American. How big is your trophy room at this point? You can have to put on an addition.
Yeah, our school's flying with them now. Yeah. The whole case is filled, rugby. Keep them coming, hopefully.
You got what's your plans after school? Are you done with school now? Is this your last year?
This is my last year. Yep, going back home, upstate New York, nursing. So I'm getting a job, getting that started. But eventually, I want to get back into rugby, whether it's coaching or just playing again.
New York Exiles, you watching this? Let's go, WER. Let's get her in that. Let's get her in the mix. Carly, tell us about this lady sitting next to you and what she does for your team, and how she has helped you get these 4 national championships in such a short time.
Yeah, I mean, like Tess Merrill. You can speak about her accomplishments, but you can't speak about the growth in her for 4 years. I mean, to come and be a freshman and get an All-American award, and just seeing her growth has been amazing. And congrats to her and our team. But yeah, it's been great.
The weekend, this entire weekend has been D3 was one of the most tightly contested divisions we had in all of women. Yeah. And you guys didn't have really an easy run at all. You had to fight for it every tooth and nail, especially that final. You had to run over 3 or 4 girls to get that offload for you guys to score. Just tell me about the weekend. Was this one of the tougher national championships that you think you've had to win, the road to it?
Oh, definitely. That Colorado Mines match, we had played them in 15, so we knew that was going to be a tough matchup for us. But just winning by a couple points there, it was back and forth. Same with that semifinal match. So great competition all around.
Yeah, I think playing them so early and on the bracket was definitely a game changer for us. Definitely lit a fire under our butts to be like, all right, like this is real. We got to really push for this championship. And so I think it was good for us day one.
Did you guys kind of have like a motto or something that the team would kind of say, because in sevens moments obviously happen where they don't go your way. Was there something like a why that you guys kind of came back to throughout this competition?
I think we just really knew that we had to dig deep. Like with sevens, we had great impact subs that could come off the bench and fill. But we knew that, it just wasn't going to be easy. And every time we're going to have to dig deep. We're going to have to play this out till the very end and carry that into the next match. Defensively, I thought we really showed out first against Mines, but in that semifinal match, we kind of made a statement there, so I was really proud.
Yeah, that one was down to the wire. All of us were off the edge of our seats. But with the knockout run, I mean, Coach, what do you kind of think of that bracket? Not the bracket challenge, but how we kind of have that trickle down bracket that we've started. I mean, what are your opinions on that?
Yeah, I mean the knockout bracket, it's it's hard because one bad game and you're out and there's no pool play or coming back. But at the same time, you just have to be dialed in every game, be ready to work for it, and win or lose, you just want to put your best foot forward, and that's what it's all about.
Well, they did that over and over again this weekend. Endicott, you guys were fantastic. One last for you. You guys played Yale, I think, like 3 or 4 times. Having the last 2 sevens national champions play each other over and over again, how much did that prepare you for the competition you went through this weekend?
I would say definitely. We played them. How many tournaments did we play them in?
Yeah, like 2 or 3. I'd say.
And it was tough at first. We were still button heads, and I think it gave us kind of like confidence going in. Having them here was kind of like, we were rooting for them, in a way, because they're on the other side of the bracket, and so we knew what they could come with, and they were pretty good. So I don't know. I think it definitely prepared us going in confidence-wise.
Awesome. Well, there you go. There you have it. That's Tess Merrill, Carly Baker, the national champions again for the Endicott Goals. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pat here with the Coast Guard national champions. I've got head coach Sarah Price, and I've got Savannah McBrayer over here, our captain. You guys, man, you talk about adversity, and I think we just have to get that 800-pound gorilla out of the room. You had 2 very serious injuries in your final. Is everybody okay that you know of so far? And that's not the funnest way to win a national championship.
No, I hope I never have to go on the field again as a coach. But I think everybody's where they need to be well taken care of, and the staff here were fabulous to take care of them. So we will be heading over to the hospital soon.
Yeah, I can only imagine. At least you got some hardware to cheer them up a little bit.
Yes.
But, one of those players that got hurt was probably the MVP of the tournament. I think that this is her trophy, right?
Yep.
I don't know how many tries, 500? More than I've ever scored in my entire career. She did in one game this weekend. She had 5 tries in a game. So just talk about the absolute force that is Caitlin and the performance she had this weekend.
So Caitlin is just, she's got the speed and the power and the talent. But, I think the other thing that everybody needs to keep in mind is that she was partnered up here with Savannah a lot, and Savannah did a lot of the hard work and managed to get that ball off to Kate, and then she just hit the gas. So, a lot of the times you see Kate finishing, and she might score all the tries, but it's really because a lot of the team is behind her and getting things done outside of the try zone.
100%. And Savannah, tell us, you guys lost 2 players in that game. There's always a lot of nerves waiting for the championship match to happen. Those nerves during that time off, how did you manage that? How did you get back on the field and go right back at it?
The nerves were bad, but we just came together as a family, decided we were going to do it for each other, for everyone in the Coast Guard. Just go out and play for each other.
Coast Guard got a national championship today. Army did not, which my friend Steve Lewis is a little sad about, but that's pretty cool, right? That's good. That's a good one. Tell me about your season. You guys have been one of the top teams in Division II here now for a few years. This is, probably, I would say, a big program win for you guys. And I also think the teamship was one of your kind of superpowers, if you will, right? Other than the tries that I saw Caitlin piling up, when I watched you, it was just really good connectiveness on offense, on defense, really good continuity, really good left and right on defense, and really working in groups of 3. I thought you guys stayed together, but has that been the way it's been all season, or has it been a slow build? How is the season? You guys like this all year?
We started off in January. It was a bit rough, but we all came together as soon as we hit the field running in our first tournament at home. It was like the connection was just there, able to play with each other.
And sometimes that connection sounds like it was kind of your saving grace throughout the final and stuff. But as far as your experience here, we touched base a little bit after your win today, and then now going on to the second one. But like the fun games are kind of finding ways to bring it together. You think that helped kind of build your connectivity off the field?
For sure it did. We were out here playing in the national championship, but the number one thing was go out there, have fun.
Well, you guys did it. It looked like it was fun, and obviously I know you had some adversity in the final, but you're going to have some fun tonight, I think. And congratulations! Really, what a wonderful performance. It was really fun to watch you guys. So Coast Guard, our Division II Women's National Champions. Congrats again, Sarah. Congrats, Savannah.
And well wishes to your 2 players as well, because we're vying for them too.
Yeah, please pass that on.
They'll both be back.
Good.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Good.
We'll see him here next year at the CRC. Thank you very much, guys, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're here on the College Rugby Show with our Division I Club National Champions, the Northeastern Huskies. We've got the MVP, Courtney Bichot-Dunner over here, and head coach Keith Katnack. Guys, congratulations. What a weekend.
Yes, it is.
It was amazing.
Keith, you got to tell me about, especially that Notre Dame game. You guys are down 3 tries.
Whoa.
What a comeback.
Yeah, and it was on the squad. They dug deep and they were like, it's only 10 points. We got to bounce back, and they did the work. They didn't shut down. Anytime we got scored on, we're like, we're going to turn it around. We're going to bounce back, and we're going to make sure we bring back the game we want to play.
Talk us through that huddle, Courtney. What were the nerves? What was the chatter like? What were the vibes when you guys were down a couple scores in national championship?
Yeah,
game?
I mean, with that game, as you saw, I went out straight away, and so I was just sitting on the sidelines accepting my yellow, and I was just locking in. My mentality was there, and once I stepped on the field, I knew I had to bring it.
Well, you were definitely there in the final.
Yeah,
True. Yeah,
definitely.
Well, tell me about your team. I mean, you guys have played a lot of Premier Cup teams this season, and didn't back down from any competition.
Yes.
How much do you think that added into your ability to get better throughout the course of the year?
I think that helped us a lot. We went against premier teams, and we've beat some of them. We lost against some of them, and each time we continue to grow and learn. And we knew that we can take this competition, and that's exactly what we did.
We take on those teams to develop our game, figure out where we want to play a high level. We want to keep pushing ourselves. So we have depth in our squad, but basically every time we'd go up against a premier team, and we'd figure out, what do we need to improve on, and it really got to show us and make us play harder and faster as much as we can, and help us develop a ton of players.
I mean, these guys look pretty good in the Premier Cup, don't you think, Darian?
I would say so myself. I mean, after you've already won this one, you might as well just test the water, see how it goes, right?
We could. I will think about it, because we were in the Premier last year, and it was kind of tough. Army, we saw Army's game today. They're a strong team to compete with. And so it's something we'll consider going into it, but I think we were in the right level this year coming in, because every score was comparable and close, and that's kind of what we want. Like you saw that final, that was just a 1 point, or I'm sorry, what was it, 3 points or something like the end of it? And I think we compete very well with this group.
Yeah, it's nice whenever you find your own little niche, and you get to take home a little bit of hardware, to kind of showcase an effort. What would you say is probably your besides winning a national championship, but what's been one of the best parts about coming to this tournament?
I would say, honestly, we have a lot of seniors on this team, a lot of my friends that I've played with since I was a rookie, and it's just really amazing to, win for them and play with them for, the last time. And honestly, I'm an MVP, but I couldn't have done it without any single one of them.
Yeah, I'd say out of everything here, the atmosphere, the camaraderie. We were cheering for New England teams UMass and BC were here, and they would reciprocate. We were all definitely. I think the atmosphere was amazing on all that aspect, and then the energy at the end of that game, just feeling it from the fans and basically helping us win that last match. That was just phenomenal.
Look, we're going to take a little bit of credit. One of your parents came up here and asked us to get shipping up to Boston over the.
I love that song.
Yes.
So
that's
I feel
our hype
that.
song, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
We always go in the huddle and then do that right before the game, and that gets us in the mentality.
He was waiting for the perfect moment to kind of pacing back and forth, and then he was like, please call the DJ. And we were like, if it helps, it helps get us a show, then we'll do it.
It got us going. It really helped us.
It really did.
Right before kickoff too, right? Yeah, that was perfect.
Well, you guys are going to be shipping up to Boston with some hardware as national champions. Courtney Bichot-Dunner, MVP, Division I Club. Keith Katnack, congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much.
Go enjoy it. Go have fun with your seniors and your friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
And this will not be the last you see of me.
No.
I'm going to Portugal with NCR.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Have fun, guys.
So
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that's it, guys. That's the CRC 2025 from just about every single angle we could come up with. And boy, were there a lot of cameras out here this weekend. I mean, more than ever, that's for sure. Also, lots of people. The thing that I think is the best part about the CRC is it's the one time you go to watch college rugby and you know there's going to be some people there.
Yeah. And piggybacking what she said earlier, the cool thing for me was seeing all the new fans that we're indoctrinating in the form of parents and family members. So especially if the student's a first-year student, you're going to get them for 4 years. And they're going to tell people about it. And they bring the aunt and the uncle and maybe a cousin and somebody else, and then maybe get some of the other people to play in the family.
Yeah.
So that's what makes this event kind of special to me, too.
The gratitude that I've heard from parents this weekend, I'd say that's the number one person I've gotten feedback from.
Yeah.
That's thanking us for the experience that their kids are having. And that's a great, indicator and a great thing. But it's been an awesome weekend. Darian, what's your final takeaway, all right? The biggest moment, your coach just got 5. That's got to be one of the high up lists, right? That's pretty high. You got to see your best friend coach in the CRC, her team. You got to see some of your old mates.
I think that's the biggest takeaway. It's been tough for me to not get emotional all of the time. I mean, we're sitting here and we're watching history be made in the making as far as showing what rugby is. You talked about how years ago you were
Don't touch me.
Get your grimy paws off me. But we talked about how, you're trying to create something. And even now, whenever you said, a couple years ago, you were saying we should bring this, to the college rugby scene, and then now it's here. So we're watching things happen in real time. And that is, I think, my biggest takeaway. It's only gonna go up from here. And I think that us being a part of it, they have the right people to do it. They have the right paths to do it as well. So I think all of that together is just gonna keep allowing us to show how cool rugby is. So that's probably
and just
the best.
one quick point before you go to Steve. Clay Peters of Marion had the absolute best haircut. You got to Google him. It's fantastic. You are a rock star.
So a final point for me, I suppose, if you look at rugby as a business, right, you have a lot of happy customers these 3 days. But my final point is Matt McCarthy for Pope.
That's the final point?
That's my final point.
Oh, my God. You heard it here first and last on the College Rugby Show. McCarthy for Pope. I think contractually we got to give a Tubas shout out, don't we?
The Tubas, the Touring University of Buffalo alumni side, the Tubas.
College Rugby Show. Thanks for joining us.